So how did I get Roscoe's recipe? That's the million-dollar question that I keep getting asked over and over and over. My Roscoe's recipe is my baby. It took me several years to accomplish. I'm really proud of it. That's why I only put it in the video watermarked, because so much gets stolen from us as content creators. But I do want to see happen is I do want other content creators to recreate my Roscoe's recipe. So tag your favorite food content creator in my Roscoe's recipe. Let them recreate it. Let them try it. I would love to see it. I hope they tag me. So a lot of people ask, you know, did I used to work there? Do I know an employee? Blah, blah, blah. No, I've never needed to do that, to reverse engineer a recipe. I used absolutely no proprietary information. No proprietary information. And before someone asks, yes, I am neurospicy. And if that's not already apparent, it will be shortly. I happen to have a particular set of skills, and you don't have to be neurodivergent to follow my process, but it does help. I reverse engineer recipes in 3 steps. Roscoe's was a little bit more difficult to crack than others. So my first step in my reverse engineering process is to eat the food and write down everything that I'm tasting. So being neurodivergent, I can taste every flavor individually. I can taste the pepper, I can taste cinnamon, nutmeg, I can taste cardamom, whatever is in it, I can taste it individually. So I'll pull out my notepad on my phone and I will literally write down everything that I'm tasting. It's very sweet, it's slightly sweet. It kind of tastes like it's honey, it might be brown sugar, you know, whatever I'm tasting, whatever I'm experiencing, I will write it down. And actually a lot of my recipes on my channel are things that I've recreated from restaurants primarily, and also from other people who have cooked for me. So if your grandma has a secret family recipe and you want to keep it a secret, don't let me taste it. My second step is research, and this is especially important if it's a foreign dish that I'm not too familiar with. So if I'm in another country somewhere and I taste something, oh, this is good, write down the name of it, write down what I know I'm experiencing, and then I'll Google everybody's recipe. I will read as many recipes as I can find to see what typically goes into it, what might be a variation of this recipe. I'm going to read everybody's blog and I'm going to find out like how this is made. When it comes to Roscoe's, I tried a lot of bloggers' recipes. I spent a lot of money trying a lot of bloggers' recipes, and every single one was playing in my face. I grew up in LA, born, bred, and buttered, and I know Roscoe's like the back of my hand. So then I got in the kitchen, which is my step 3, getting in the kitchen and experimenting. I knew that I was tasting spice, and I knew I was tasting cinnamon. I didn't know if there was like an undercurrent of nutmeg, ginger. So I tried nutmeg, ginger, allspice, all these undercurrents in small amounts to see what would nail it, and just leaving the cinnamon by itself is what got me there. So I was able to get the flavor, and when it comes to the chicken, I bought some of the chicken and I pulled apart the breading to see what colors I was seeing, to make sure I'm not missing a paprika, to make sure I'm not missing an oregano or a basil or anything like that. And I noticed that I'm only seeing black, white, yellow, black, white, yellow. That lets me know onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper. I also got a big hint of umami. So I knew that there was accent in it because I know what accent tastes like. For a fact that they use accent, and I was able to go ahead and get all of the spices down on my own. I had a working recipe that I was working on for years. I would like tweak it, update it, and it all started back in 2016 when they announced their bankruptcy. And so I was like, okay, I need to know how to make this just in case I go out of business. I can let my kids have this very familiar taste that I grew up tasting, you know. And everybody's like, oh, Roscoe's isn't that good. But I think the most delicious thing in the world is nostalgia. And Roscoe's definitely had nostalgia for me. And so that's the reason why I was so pressed to get the recipe. I had a really good working recipe that tastes spot on. But the texture, it was just something about the texture that wasn't the same. Like I could tell the difference. Years go by, the pandemic happens, and then I pick it back up. When the last time I went there, the service was terrible and the food was not the same. And so I was like, I really need to pick my Roscoe's recipe back up and make sure that it's perfect. And that's when my hyperfixation started. And I was like, I have to nail this down. I remembered that for a brief period during the pandemic, they had something called Roscoe's at Home, where they packaged their chicken and waffles, put it in the stores. So for restaurants, all they have to list is the common allergens, milk, eggs, that sort of thing. But the FDA requires packaged food that goes to the store to have a full listing of ingredients. I was able to find an old Instacart listing that had their waffles. And in the waffle ingredients list, they had to list out that they use yellow corn flour. And that's like, that's that textural element. They had to list that they use rice flour. And I'm like, now it makes sense why just using flour wasn't gonna cut it. Now it makes sense why using just buttermilk wasn't gonna cut it. I went through several iterations of their waffles, and then I was like, their chicken. I got the flavor profile, I got the herbs. I do not have the texture of the outside of their chicken. Are they using buttermilk? Are they using an egg binder? What are they doing? So I couldn't find an Instacart listing for their chicken. So I went on TikTok and I searched in Roscoe's at Home. And I found a man who had like bought Roscoe's at Home and he was about to heat it up. I saw him put the package down, paused it, zoom, 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 zoom. And then I was able to read diastatic malt powder. That's where they get their crunch. They use cornstarch in addition to flour. That's how they get their crunch. I used the order of ingredients to hint me towards how much of each ingredient it needed to be. So that was my process, all publicly available information. It's a process that I repeated for so many different recipes. It's a process that I'm now sharing with you. I hope you're able to make that dish from your childhood that no longer exists. I hope you're able to find out how to recreate any dish that your heart desires. If there are any other questions about the reverse engineering process, just leave them below and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you. Bye. Mwah.